Hi guys, Korean movie recapped here. Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. Today, I'm going to recap a 2012 Korean movie called Don't Click. The film is about a girl who is curious about a forbidden video that is no longer available on the internet. However, she asks her sister's boyfriend, who works for a special investigation for cyber crimes, to get the file. After watching the video, a series of strange events occurs to her. Her older sister realizes a change in her behavior, and it's up to her sister to save her now. So, what's the video about? Is the video cursed? Let's find out together. A high school girl named Jung is watching a video of someone doing a striptease dance on the internet. Apparently, the girl in that video is herself. She uploaded that video for money and she doesn't tell anyone about it, except her best friends. On the other hand, a man is working in front of the computers. Apparently, that's Jung's sister's boyfriend. His name is Hyuk. He is on an internship program in the cybercrime department. It seems like he has a little problem with Jung's sister, Si-hee, as Si-hee suspects Hyuk of cheating. Therefore, he invites her to go for a movie in hopes that she won't be mad anymore, but she rejects it. Si-hee, who works as a clerk at a luxury bag shop, suddenly receives the video of Jung doing a striptease dance. Soon after that, she is so scared as she receives a text from an unknown sender saying that she looks beautiful in a short skirt. Luckily, it's only Jung who is pranking her. Jung comes to inform her that she is going to hang out with her friends. While they are having some drinks, Jung tells them that her sister's boyfriend works in the cybercrime department. Her friends tell her that there is a cursed video on a forbidden website, but that video has been deleted. The video can control whoever watches it. They think Hyuk can help them to obtain that video. Not long after, Hyuk arrives at their place. He comes to ask Jung to help him persuade her sister to stop being mad. Jung agrees, but she has a condition: he has to help her retrieve that video. Hyuk agrees to help her as long as he can win back Si-hee's heart. Meanwhile, Si-hee again receives a message telling her not to frown, and the mole on her stomach is so beautiful. Now she suspects that someone is watching her through the CCTV in the changing room. She reports it to her manager, but her manager doesn't believe her as it's only her complaining about the CCTV. She was so angry that she resigned from that shop. On the other hand, Hyuk is secretly copying the video Jung requested at his office, but he has a problem. The video can't be copied, making him think that there is some problem with his flash disk. However, when he is getting another one, his computer automatically copies the file into his flash disk. His seniors suddenly enter the room, but luckily they don't suspect him. The weird thing is, after they leave the room, the monitor suddenly turns on. Si-hee finally comes back from work. However, she feels that someone is following her, but maybe it's just her feeling. She soaks in the bathtub to relax herself after a tiring day, but Jung suddenly comes to surprise her. Suddenly, Hyuk comes bringing the forbidden video. Jung immediately watches the video, which turns out to show the practice of dark magic. She sees someone is splitting a doll's stomach and filling it with rice and hair. After that, one of the doll's eyes is gouged and sewn back together. Lastly, the doll is put into water and human's blood is poured into it. She also sends the video to her best friend and her sister. But strangely, every time she is going to watch the video's name is always changed. Not only that, the content is also changed. Jung watches the video one more time and she can see a cupboard which slowly opens. At the same time, the cupboard in her room also slowly opens. Therefore, she checks the cupboard but she finds nothing. She decides to continue to watch the video, and something gets out of the cupboard on the video, which turns out to be a red-eyed ghost. It freaks her out. Shun then decides to turn the music on and does a striptease dance wearing only her underwear to calm herself. Meanwhile, Jung's friend who is watching the forbidden video starts to be scared as she feels someone is watching her. She tries to run away, but the spirit from the video still haunts her. Suddenly, the red-eyed ghost shows up and makes her fall through the elevator door. Suddenly, the elevator falls and crushes her to death. The next day, Jung is called to meet her teacher. Her teacher shows her a viral video of her doing a striptease dance. She is so shocked realizing that it was her yesterday, but she doesn't think that she recorded it. During the lesson, rice and long hair suddenly comes out of her stomach. She screams loudly, but it turns out that it's only her imagination. Because of Jung's viral video, a high school student takes a picture of her inside the train. Jung is so angry and makes a commotion there. Someone records the ruckus and again the video becomes viral. Sehee also sees the video and finds out that a lot of netizens sneer at her sister. Sehee is so disappointed at Jung, but Jung tells her that it all started after she watched the forbidden video. She then decides to watch the video until the end. While watching the next video, Jung is so shocked as she sees her friend is crushed to death by the elevator on that video. Jung cries and hides inside the cupboard. Suddenly, she hears her keyboard types by itself, writing "It's all your fault." Seeing that sentence makes her freak out, so she decides to come to Sehee and tells her not to follow any strange voice from now on. She also tells her that there is a ghost inside their house. At midnight, Jung starts to act weirdly. She eats dozens of eggs from the fridge greedily. Sehee is awakened from her sleep and sees what her sister's doing. She tries to stop her, but Jung angrily tells her that she's so hungry. Jung's strange behavior makes Sehee so confused. To figure out what's going on, Sehee calls Hyuk and asks him to install some CCTV throughout her house. Not only that, they also put a secret camera inside a doll which is going to be given to Jung, so they can monitor what's going on inside Jung's room. When they are about to try the camera, suddenly the power goes out. Sehee says that it frequently happens as the power cable is broken. They try to fix the problem together and start to conduct their plan. Strangely, when Hyuk gives the doll to Jung starts to tease him and Sehee can see it through the camera. However, Jung is not tempted at all. He immediately goes home after that. Meanwhile, inside her room, Jung continues to watch the video and unfortunately Sehee falls asleep while monitoring her. Jung suddenly comes out from her room, carrying the doll and a knife, and enters Sehee's room. When she is ready to kill her with that knife, Sehee wakes up from her sleep. It turns out that it's just her bad dream. She immediately checks the CCTV recording and she finds out that the CCTV didn't record anything. Therefore, she reports the problem to Hyuk, but he also has no idea why it could happen. In the next scene, Hyuk decides to ask his supervisor about that forbidden video. Her supervisor knows about that video and tells him the story. It turns out that there was a video about a man who seemed like he was sexually assaulting a drunk woman. However, that man was actually just trying to protect that woman from being recorded. That video went viral and everyone labeled him as a sexual predator. That man ended up committing suicide as he couldn't bear the shame of being blasphemed by the netizens. Ironically, his wife also died of a stroke after finding out what his husband had done. His only daughter tried to tell the truth, but the netizens didn't believe her. Therefore, she warned them by saying that she would send them all to hell. Soon after that, she uploaded a video which cursed her to be a haunting spirit and she then killed herself to complete the curse. On the other hand, Sehee sees that Jung goes to the haunting girl's house to release herself from the curse. So, she immediately calls Hyuk and follows her to that location. When she arrives, she is so surprised because she sees a lot of dolls there. Moreover, it's so dark there that she must use the night mode of her phone's camera. She calls out Jung, but suddenly someone approaches her from behind. Apparently, that's Hyuk who just arrived. They continue to find Jung and finally manage to find her. Apparently, Jung is looking for the cursed doll and she says that she has to burn that doll. When they are about to continue looking for that doll, Hyuk can see the cursed girl's spirit through the camera. That girl walks to a direction which turns out to be a wall. Hyuk breaks into the wall and he finds a secret room, which is the place the girl used to make the cursed video. They manage to find that cursed doll in that room and immediately burn that doll, along with the flash disk containing that video. They think that the curse is over by burning that doll. However, after they leave the doll's eye moves. Sehee and Hyuk are so happy that the curse is finally over. But suddenly, Sehee again receives a message from an anonymous person. Apparently, it contains a suicide video of the cursed girl. At the same time, they hear Jung scream from her room. Jung frantically shows them that the haunting girl is still alive and she is on her way to their house. Hyuk tries to prevent that girl from entering their house. However, Jung realizes that the CCTV is following them, and she remembers that all of the cursed video victims' deaths were recorded. So, Hyuk intends to turn off the electricity so they can't be recorded by CCTV. He must get out of the house to do it. When Hyuk is about to cut the electricity, the girl makes Hyuk feel a great pain. He feels his stomach being ripped open and his eyes gouged out with a knife, just like what the girl did to the cursed doll. Hyuk manages to turn off the electricity before the girl kills him. Seeing what's happened to Hyuk, Jung and Si-hee immediately leave the house. But unfortunately, the girl manages to get Jung and hang her with a cable so she can't breathe. Si-hee tries to save her, but the girl suddenly locks the door. Si-hee manages to enter the house through the roof, but she is too late as Jung is already dead. She cries desperately because she fails to save her sister. She decides to find the haunting girl to ask what she wants. When she finds the haunting girl on the rooftop, the girl tells her that she wants Si-hee to die with her. She approaches Si-hee, so Si-hee slowly walks backwards and finally falls from the rooftop. The next day, she is saved by people and immediately brought to the hospital. At that time, she realizes that CCTV is following her, which means that the haunting girl is still around. So, if you were Si-hee, what would you do next? Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.